Charles Oliveira was set to compete against Rafael Fiziev, who has just recently pulled out due to, I believe, some kind of injury. And it's just been confirmed that Mateusz Gamrot will be stepping in on just a little over 2 weeks' notice to face off against Charles Oliveira in what I would call a relatively high stakes matchup. I'm going to try and get through this despite me sounding like a robot. I've been quite ill for the last couple of days, but this news just came out and I thought it was worth talking about, as well as discussing what some of the fans and other commentators have been saying about this change. So just to start off, Rafael Fiziev, he's been someone who has not quite been able to. He's not been able to crack the top echelon of the lightweight division. He faced off against Gaethje twice. He had 2 opportunities against Gaethje, and he lost both of them. And so him getting this matchup against Oliveira was really his kind of third time to the charm moment, right? This was his kind of final shot, the last stand to kind of break into the top 5, the top 4 of the division. I can't remember what the rankings are right now, but to kind of break into that elite of the lightweight division, and he's now pulled out. So as far as what happens to Fiziev now, I don't know. I don't think he'll get a high-ranked matchup after this. If they've done what they've done with, given that they've done what they've done with Tsarukyan, I think it's unlikely that they're going to play nice with Fiziev. So Gamrot stepped in, and it's a banger fight. I think it's just as good of a matchup as compared to the last one. If anything, I think this is a better matchup because on paper anyway, Gamrot has beaten Tsarukyan. I know a lot of people call that a robbery, and if that's what you believe, fair enough. But on paper anyway, he has beaten Arman Tsarukyan. And so it just looks better for the division if someone like Gamrot can go out there and beat Oliveira and, add a new name to the mix, right? As far as a title contention is concerned, and giving, Topuria new matchups and what have you. So I actually, if anything, thinking about it more and more, I do like this matchup a lot more than the Fiziev one, because Fiziev had 2 opportunities already to kind of crack that top brass of the lightweight division. He couldn't do it, so it wouldn't really look that good if Fiziev goes out there and wins, and then it's like, oh well, you lost to Gaethje anyways. It didn't really look that good from an optics perspective. So I like this matchup better. And just as far as my initial prediction on this fight, just because it's 2 weeks' notice, I'm kind of leaning toward Oliveira, and for a couple of reasons. Obviously, we have the fact that it's a short notice fight for Gamrot, who has not been training. Having said that, it's also the fact that I don't necessarily believe in the dominance of Gamrot the dominance of Gamrot in the wrestling to overwhelm and control Oliveira. Now, I know Gamrot, on paper anyway, out-wrestled Tsarukyan in moments, but it wasn't anything kind of overwhelming or crazy dominant. It was a relatively competitive fight. A lot of people thought Tsarukyan won. I think it's going to be that kind of Oliveira Dariush performance, where we have this new guy coming up who's got some skills, who's got some ground skills as well. Now, I do think Gamrot's a better wrestler perhaps than Dariush, but is he that much better than Dariush? I don't know. Just given the fact that it's 2 weeks, I can't trust in Gamrot to get it done. But having said that, Oliveira was preparing for a striker. He wasn't preparing for a wrestler, so that's also another kink in the armor, so to speak. We don't know how the fact that he's not been training for a grappler is going to play out for him. It's an interesting fight. You see, there's a lot of questions, a lot of sort of points to discuss. There's a lot of different angles you can come at this with, and that makes it very, very interesting. Makes it more interesting than the Fiziev fight. So I like this. I actually like this change. Something I wanted to talk about. There have been a lot of people calling out Oliveira as a duck, and I've just done a quick Google search. Right, Oliveira ducking Gamrot. We got the Yahoo Sports article. Actually, not that one. The Bloody Elbow article. Charles Oliveira beats ducking accusations. MMA Guru, I think mentioned something along similar lines as well. I haven't watched the video in full, but you can see the titles, you can see the thumbnails. Some people have accused Oliveira of ducking Gamrot. Now, obviously, we have the matchup, so he's definitely not ducking Gamrot. Having said that, though, it's not a John Jones Aspinall situation, right? That's for sure. He's booked the fight. He's set to fight. He's probably going to compete. Fingers crossed. What I will say though is I don't know why people are surprised. Like those ones who accuse or say, "Oh, Oliveira is ducking" and what have you. I don't know why these people are surprised. I'm not saying Oliveira is a duck, but he is a bit of a diva in the lightweight division. He is a lightweight diva. I mean, this guy, I'm pretty sure, I don't have the receipts. I wish I pulled them up before this. I'm pretty sure Oliveira called out McGregor and Nate Diaz for a fight before competing against Makhachev, when he at the same time was claiming that Makhachev hadn't earned a title shot yet or something to that effect. Or a lot of people who were pro Oliveira were saying Makhachev doesn't deserve a shot because he just beat, I believe it would have been Bobby Green on short notice, as if that was his fault anyway. But at the same time, this guy's calling out McGregor and calling out Nate Diaz. He's always been a bit of a diva, Oliveira has. I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous to say that given his life story and the challenges he's had to face and overcome to get to where he is. But I think at a certain point, once you make all that money, you made the riches, that diva is just going to start coming through. And I think that's what's happened here. So he's always been like this. I mean, there was some back and forth about whether he would take the Gamrot matchup. He's taken it. He's a savage for taking it. Gamrot's a savage as well. It's going to be a fun fight. Now, there's something else I want to talk about as well within the kind of the broader lightweight division and the kind of the state of the sport for this division specifically. It's kind of like a weird, I mean, the lightweight division was supposed to be this badass division filled with BMS, but it seems like it's lost some of that charm that it once had. And I'm going to list off a couple of points, right, to evidence this claim. So we've got, we had Makhachev in the lightweight division, right? And he was on this tear, had a 4 defense streak, which broke the record at the lightweight division. And then he moves up to 170. And I'm not blaming Makhachev for moving up, but the fact that he moves, the fact that he did move up kind of leaves this looming shadow over the division. And then fair enough, Topuria comes and knocks out Oliveira to become this new champion, this new budding star in the UFC. But then he starts calling out boxers. And it's like, what about the promotion of the UFC itself? We've got guys who kind of come in, get to the top, and then just forget about the sport that kind of brought them to the dance. And you've seen that with Topuria. I mean, his last fight was, I think, 3 months ago. He fought in June against Oliveira. It's been 3 months. I don't think he's going to fight. And listen, hear me now, quote me later. I don't think Topuria is going to fight until the new year. And I'm not talking like January. I'm talking maybe Feb, March. That's bringing us up, to like 7-8 months. And people give guys like Makhachev or some of these other fighters a lot of, shit for not fighting often enough, supposedly. But I don't think you're going to hear the same claim or same accusation being leveled against someone like Topuria, assuming what I'm saying actually does come to fruition. So yeah, we got Topuria come in, then he's busy trying to, promote a magical pie in the sky fight with Crawford, which is never going to really happen. And we've got Tsarukyan as well, right? And the thing with Tsarukyan is, I understand he pulled out his last fight. A lot of people seem to be giving him look, he pulled out of his last fight. Fair enough. He was in a bit of he was a, he's a bit of a man child for pulling out and then demanding that he gets a title shot anyway against Topuria. But if we look at it on paper, he's only pulled out of a fight once, and I think this is something that MMA Joey mentioned. And I thought was a fair point against Renato Moicano. The fight was cancelled because Moicano was injured, I believe. Okay, I don't know I don't know where it's okay, yeah, it says it right there. Moicano injury, right? If I go back, it was the same with Nasrat Haqparast due to illness. He's only pulled out in the UFC once, and that was against Makachev. There's some people saying that maybe Gamrot deserves the fight, which I think is ridiculous. When you have people giving Makachev a lot of shtick when he had a bigger win streak. What is Gamrot's win streak? Yeah, I mean, he lost to Dan Hooker. Wow, there you go. He's on a 1-fight win streak. Come on, and he lost to Dariush. I don't know. Like, he doesn't deserve the fight more than Tsarukyan. Just give Tsarukyan the shot. I mean, just give him the shot. That is the fight that needs to happen in the lightweight division, not Gamrot. Even if Gamrot beats Oliveira. But anyway, I just wanted to make a short video just talking about that. There were some points made about, Charles Oliveira being a duck, and just I want to just discuss, what the state of the division is like in today's climate compared to what it was before. Obviously, you have Makachev moving up, and then Topuria is coming in, and now Topuria is vying for a boxing match, and I don't think Topuria is going to fight for the next 4 or 5 months. That would mean he can only fight once or twice a year at most. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you next time.